Okay guys, welcome to another Force of Will news. This one coming to you a day late, so sorry about that, and also a little bit less quality than I usually do, but I want to get this out to you guys, and hopefully we'll be back to normal going towards next week. We have this video, obviously, Force of Will news for today, and then either later tonight or tomorrow we'll have our box opening for the new Echoes of the New World, and we'll also have some possible gameplay and stuff. We'll be getting into that. I had posted on Facebook, but we're waiting for the set to officially release so we can get cards, so we can start making new decks for new gameplay videos and deck profiles, different things like that. So be on the lookout for that. We'll start getting back to our regular video output and all that good stuff pretty soon here. So we'll get started here. Oh, and before I forget, if you guys are interested, we created a Discord chat room for TCG Scrubs. If you guys want a place to sort of talk about the game, if you have ideas or things you want to see on the channel, if you have deck lists or deck ideas you want to see played out, we might be able to look into that so we can get some more varying ideas, different things like that, or just for fun. So I'll have a link in the description below if you want to look into that. But yeah, so we'll get into the news. There's not a whole lot of crazy news, but there's a decent amount of stuff, so I'll just get right into it. First is, during the stream, Jordan did say that as far as at least the first and second sets that are going to be released in the Rhea cluster, they won't have any sort of resonators or spells that use the new seal mechanic. Seal mechanic is the one where once you get to a certain amount of stones that it unlocks an ability. So he said that at least the first two sets won't have it. He says, you know, we'll see what happens going forward if it'll have anything beyond that, but that's so interesting. I really like the mechanic and I was hoping to see more of it, but I guess that's a given. Each set sort of has its own thing going on, but hopefully we'll see more of it, probably in Vingolf or something like that. Speaking of which, he was asked if the things like the Will of Hope and Will of Despair attribute specifically, if we'll be seeing that in the next cluster or if that's something we'll only see in things like Vingolf. And he did say, yeah, most likely if we do see any more Will of Hope or Will of Despair resonators, it would be in Vingolf in a way so it doesn't really disrupt the plan they have for the next cluster, which is, like I've explained before, having new mechanics that are extremely supportive throughout the rest of the set and different things like that, and that would sort of put a dampener on that. He did, just as a sort of a side thing, he did confirm that the next cluster does not take place on Earth. I believe this last cluster did, but just a side little tidbit. And he was asked why they created promos for Levitine and Horn of the Sacred Beast if they're just going to be banned, and he did say, obviously you could just deduce this, that they had come up with those promos and promo ideas long before they had gotten into the process of deciding to ban them. And so yeah, that was just a little bit of a tidbit. He did say, wants to reiterate, I think I had mentioned this before, but he did reiterate that Vingolf 4 is going to be an original property. It's not going to be based on Force of Will characters per se, like Vingolf 3 was, but it's also not based on an outside property like Vingolf 1 and 2 will. It's its own creation. So an example that I could think of that it might be is like something like they created a new thing like Architect. It wouldn't be based on Architect, but the mythology of Architect, they did another type of mythology that they created on their own and sort of released that as a Vingolf as a property they created on their own that's not related to Force of Will but is its own thing. So if you hadn't figured out by now, there's no quest clear for L4, and he acknowledged that there wasn't any. He did say the reason for that wasn't because they're getting rid of it. It's because, I think I'd mentioned this to Oscar also right before I found this out, is that we're looking to revamp it, to make it cooler, do a little bit of different things going into the next cluster, and to do that they sort of had to put it on hold to figure that out. He said, something could always happen that puts it on hold for whatever reason, but as of right now, the reason it didn't happen in L4 is because they're in the process of doing a huge revamp for the next cluster. He did say that we will see crossover with casters in Force of Will. I don't know if that means, I think it's mainly meaning Force of Will crossing over to casters, so different Force of Will characters like Charlotte being characters inside of casters. I don't know if it's necessarily the other way around, but that's kind of cool to look forward to. Oh, and Architects as well. He did say he would do it with Architects on top of that. And that those crossovers he mentioned are going to be happening this year, 2017. So that's actually really exciting. So right, probably when the sets are released, we'll see some characters from Force of Will in those games. Maybe vice versa, but probably not. And that we, oh, and he was asked, we're moving to promos here. He was asked if we're going to be still seeing promos moving forward, because in the next cluster, they were dealing with a new world, new characters. None of these old characters are carrying forward for the most part. And so they were asked if we'll ever get promos for different cards that use old characters on those promos. And he said, most likely not. As of right now, they have no plans for using old characters for promos or anything. So, yeah. And he said in about 10 days from when he was talking, so he's talking on Tuesday night, so on Thursday or Friday is when we'll find out what the new Wanderer promo is as well. So that's something to look forward to. And yeah, and if you guys missed it, I already did a video. If you're curious about the Levitine and Horn ban, I did a video on that. Hopefully I wasn't able to make it into the stream itself this time to ask questions. So if I get a chance to, maybe the next stream, I'll try to ask some questions regarding those bans, because I had some questions some I had raised in that previous video. But yeah, if you want to find out more information about that. And yeah, and like I said, we'll be doing some more videos here, both with the box openings, gameplay, some deck profiles. I teased before that I was doing a Spirit deck, and we had some Spirit deck gameplay, but I was actually in the middle of editing the video for that deck profile for the deck based on Spirit Resonators, but I decided to stop it and restart it once I saw the Spirit Resonators in ENW. So now that the set's out, I'm gonna real quick slot those in, redo the deck profile, and get that out to you guys. We have a couple other things. I'm gonna be working on a Wanderer deck. Oscar's working on a new Machine deck, and we'll have either deck profiles or gameplay for those coming up. So a lot of stuff to look forward to, guys. So make sure you subscribe so you can stay in touch with both the news and those different videos coming out. And let us know in the comments what you think and what you want to see going forward. And or if you want to join that Discord and let us know in there, that works as well. And yeah,